What exactly does it take to get an 800 or higher credit score? In this episode, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step process you can use today to increase your credit score for free. Zip, nada, free 99. Coming up. It's Lynn Michelle with Oxygen.com. I share lifestyle, mindset, and money tips I picked up globetrotting the world as a flight attendant to help you simplify the money game. This is the premiere episode. Welcome aboard. Be sure to stick around to the end because you will get a bonus. It's my free cheat sheet to help you get a better credit score, and you can use all the information at your pace that I'm going to share with you in this episode. Now, I'll provide links to everything I mentioned, so let's get packing. Most people know about a credit score. They know it can affect the types of products or financial products you can get access to. Things such as an unsecured credit card, a mortgage rate, vehicle loans, and all other types of financial products. So having a good credit score is really important to your financial life because the higher interest rates you pay, the less money you're going to have at the end of the month. So would you classify yourself as having a good credit score or a bad credit score? If you have a good credit score, it can go even higher. The thing is, the lower your credit score, the faster it can increase. So if you're trying to reestablish credit or just establishing credit for the first time, you're in luck. Now, regardless of your score, you're going to start where you are. Now, the scores range anywhere from 300 to 850, which is at the very top. And I think only about 1% of the American population has an 850 perfect credit score. But you don't need a perfect credit score. 760 is usually the cutoff to getting really attractive interest rates. So basically, a credit score is just a snapshot of your creditworthiness. Now, a credit score is officially called a FICO score, and it comes from the Fair Isaac Corporation. The official FICO score was introduced in 1989, and it was a way to make credit decisions impartial and fair. Now, this impartial tool used to evaluate credit risk, it pretty much changed the credit landscape for good. Now, in the days before credit, people were often denied credit based on who they knew. If you knew a banker or the lender, chances are you would get a loan. So this opened up the door to a lot of maybe unfair treatment because back then it was basically who you knew. The system was not fair, it wasn't fact-based, and it wasn't consistent. Now, your credit score can be used in many ways, not just for financial products. Your employer or prospective employer can also request a copy of your credit report. Now, keep this in mind. You must always give permission for someone, as even your employer, to run your credit score or your credit report. And if they do it without your permission, it's not cool and it's against the law. So who are the keepers of the score? There are three major credit bureaus. There's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And these are the ones most financial companies report your credit history to. Now, the first step in improving your credit score is to see what's on your credit report because that ties into your credit score. So you can get a free credit report. Now, these three nationwide credit reporting companies have set up one website. To order, you can visit annualcreditreport.com or call 1-877-322-8228. You can also complete an annual credit report request form, and you can mail it to the address on the screen. Of course, I'll leave all this information for you below. Now, if you or someone you know is deaf or hard of hearing, they can access the TDD service by calling 711 and referring the relay operator to 1-800-821-7232. Also, if you're blind or have disabilities, you can ask for your free annual credit report in Braille, large print, or in audio format. You can call 877-322-8228. Now, here's a couple of things about your credit report. Inaccurate information, which are most negative items, should automatically fall off your credit report 7 years from the date of your first missed payment. So you can request a copy of your free credit report and just go through it to make sure there are no inaccurate information reported on there for you. So next we'll look at how your credit score is calculated. Your payment history. This accounts for 35% of your credit. Now, you don't want to miss payments on this because this is something that can really negatively impact your score. If you make a late payment, it can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. You really want to be vigilant in making sure you don't let life get in the way, which causes you to make late payments. One of the things I can suggest is setting up automatic payments with your credit cards or your financial institutions. This way, if life gets in the way and you kind of forget, you're not going to be penalized and hit that late fee, number one, and have the negatively impact your credit score. Next is the amount of debt, which accounts for 30% of your score. Now, how much credit you're using is based on your credit limit. So for example, if you had a credit card with a $1,000 credit limit, your balances should never exceed $300. So experts often recommend aiming for a credit utilization of 10%, although having a ratio of up to 30% usually doesn't impact your credit score. So once your ratio is above 30%, it begins to negatively impact your credit standing. If you're finding value from this episode, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. And if you've ever made a late payment, tell me how much your bank or financial institution charged you in the comments below. Next is the age of your credit, which accounts for 15%. In this situation, being old is a good thing. The longer your credit history of paying on time, the better your credit score. So closing credit cards can impact your score in a negative way. So check your credit utilization before you close out because of the annual fee. So if you don't want to pay that annual fee, ask them to transfer the credit. Now, earlier last year, when the pandemic was in full bloom, my Chase Reserve card had an annual payment due of $550. Now, it's a great card for travel, but I mean, who's really going to be doing travel at that time? So instead of closing it, I asked them to transfer the balance to a no-fee interest card, and that was my Chase Freedom. So make sure you ask if there's a comparable product that you can use rather than closing the account, which can impact your score negatively. Next is your credit mix, which accounts for 10%. Now, this is a type of credit you own, like mortgage rates or credit cards or consumer loans or vehicle loans. It's good to have a nice mix, and these are called trade lines. So lenders like to see a minimum of 3 trade lines. So if you just keep that variety, make that variety the spice of your financial life. Next up is hard inquiries. This accounts for 10% of your score. Now, hard inquiries are things that if you apply for a loan, maybe you go to the car dealership and they're trying to get you the best rate. So they're trying to find a good lender to get a more attractive rate for you. And you may end up with 4 or 5 or even 6 hard inquiries on your credit score. And these can last up to 2 years. So just be really choosy and ask them how many places they're going to contact to try to get you the best rate. You may even want to look into your own financing and come to the dealership with your own financing. This way you can control the amount of hard inquiries that are going to be dinging your credit score. Now, soft inquiries such as checking your own credit report, those things do not count as a hard inquiry. They're a soft inquiry, so you shouldn't be afraid to check your own credit score or your own credit report. So let's debrief. Earlier I mentioned that I would give you a step-by-step process on how you can increase your credit score. So you know to contact the 3 major credit bureaus to get your credit report from annualcreditreport.com, and this is a website that's authorized by federal law. You also have the option of monitoring your credit score each week using a free advertiser-sponsored site like creditkarma.com. And lastly, we broke down how your credit score is calculated. So I promised you a free upgrade, and here it is. It's my companion cheat sheet to this video to help you increase your credit score. And the good thing is, no email registration is needed. Just click on the link below. It's YQA time. Your questions answered. What questions do you have about increasing your credit score or credit score in general? Leave me a comment and I just may create an episode based on your question. So beautiful. Thanks for spending time with me today on this premiere episode, or as we say in the airline industry, this was my inaugural flight. So thanks for coming along with me. Now, if you found value in this episode, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share it with others. When you subscribe, you'll be notified of new episodes every week. As I close this episode, I want to encourage you to take care of yourself first so you can take care of those you love. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Smooches.